Yeah. 3, 2, 1. What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the AudioLink podcast. Thank you for not cutting me off.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Tom and Brandon here.
We need to give them producer mics.
Yes. And we have some producers in the room that we'll leave unnamed.
Nate.
What's up? Today we're going to be talking about building teams, building people, building culture. Yes, building a new life in a new country.
Yes.
No, not that. Just building companies, all that, and really excited. So hope you guys enjoy it.
Let's go.
Okay, so it's funny. I was thinking this morning about when we're building stuff, building a company, building a team, building a family, everything that we're doing, right, in life, we have kind of like different stages of decisions. And I feel like with running AudioLink right now, there's all we're doing all day is this in a lot of ways from like an executive standpoint. And I think, most people in their life they're the executor of something, whether it's just their life, their
parents' will.
Maybe not. At some point, maybe that.
Sorry,
but their maybe their team at work, their family, company, maybe a business you're starting, your career, anything. And I was just kind of thinking about how like we're always dealing in some time wavelength of like circumstance. And then we're making either like immediate, we call it like immediate, interim, or ideal, like long-term ideal decisions. And how we like face those every single day. And how we're trying to like, I don't know, you're kind of trying to weave those things together. It's like, oh, well, this, if I buy this cheaper thing now, it could be better for now because I'll save money, but maybe it won't last as long. And, if I hire this more qualified person now, that's going to be great, but it's going to, if I invest in my career in this way now, or if if we start investing in training for my team now, then maybe long-term it's going to be better, but are we going to suffer in the interim, right? And
versus hiring someone who's great now. Yeah,
like I think when we go down to it, I guess what I'm getting at is, I guess what I was processing was a lot of the decisions that we make are based around that. It's like, are we making something for now? If it's for like right now, the ideal thing is probably going to be super, super costly.
Yeah.
Is it an intermediate term? Is it like, oh, we can kind of find some happy medium, which is what a lot of people, I think, lean towards? Or are we really willing to make like an immediate short-term decision right now that's just going to get us to the next post? What do you think about that?
I think there's like, we had a meeting this morning, we're talking about like our 3-month goals and our 2-year goals, right? Mm-hmm. The difference. I think the cost really comes in your ability to be flexible and change when the time comes. So every decision you make, whether it's like short term, I'm going to buy this car because it'll get me the next, I can use it for 30,000 miles, but in 30,000 miles, you're going to have to buy another car. And so the cost of doing that is typically change, and change is the hardest part of all this. Like, yeah.
But okay, so like I think I always erred on the side of we need to do the ideal best thing, long term, right? Thinking like long term. But then you get into real life and you're like, wait, yeah, I want to go to Stanford University, but that costs this. I could just go to this community college.
Yeah.
And I could save money, and then I could, at that next stage, then I could that whole thing, which I think for a lot of us, even though we're always like trying to invest in long-term outcomes, we kind of find ourselves in situations where we're like, wait, the cost of that is just too much. Like, yes, maybe that thing lasts so much longer, but I can't afford to pay that right now.
Yeah.
So even though that's the better thing for me to buy, or that's the better time investment for me to make, it's like an employee, like hiring an employee. You have one person who, say you're trying to fulfill a role, you have one person who has a great attitude. And like we've already gone through this on so many levels, has a great attitude, is really, really young, has no experience, but is super teachable.
Yeah.
And then you have another person that has tons of experience, has maybe a little more ego, maybe is going to be a lot more costly. They're going to maybe want to dictate how things go more. And there's a little bit more of a risk. The chance of them leaving in 2 years, if we just look at statistically, is pretty high. But so you need results now.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think those types of decisions are so tough. And we encounter them a lot in life. And I think you kind of hit the nail on the head a little bit too, of like, there's an element of we don't trust if we go to the community college route and say, okay, yeah, I'm not going to go to the big school. I'm going to go to community college. I'm gonna save money. I'm gonna work a job on the side. Will you actually not get sucked into doing the job full time because you get a little extra money and drop out of school in general? Yeah. Or will you never actually work as hard because you're not inspired by that environment and then actually transfer in? Meanwhile, if you're willing, I think what I've been like juggling with a lot lately is this: like, if you're willing to make shorter term decisions more often, what happens is, it's kind of like the fundraising thing too. It's like, what happens is you get a short way down the road, and then now you have more data and information, and you didn't commit to some long-term decision. And then now you can actually make a more informed decision. But it takes so much maturity to say, okay, I'm going to buy this car and it's only going to last me 1 year. And I know that. But it's not costing me much and it allows me to blah, blah, blah. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I understand. There's just, people don't understand most of the time that everyone is very overwhelmed by the moment because everything is very like stimulating right now.
Yeah.
All of social media, everything is all about like dopamine right now.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of maturity to be able to look at your life and make an objectively good decision based on your surroundings and your circumstances. And what you're saying is right. It's like there's cost to everything. But I think at the end of the day, it has to be, your decision has to be driven by the end goal. Right? And even in the short term, right? Like if you, like when I met my wife, I was like, oh, I know I'm going to marry this girl. So I'm going to start doing things in my life that are short-term decisions that position me in 6 months to propose to her.
Yeah, and it was just to save the money for the ring. And then like the rest of the marriage, you're like, exactly.
Even then, like we made really specific dating decisions that set us up for marriage. And even though like we didn't know, she didn't know, really, I knew, but I think most dudes know.
Yeah. You know.
Even though like she wasn't too sure if she's going to marry me, but I was like very sure. So the surety of vision allowed me to make very clear decisions.
Yeah.
Even though like the cost at the time was like, okay, I can't get a new car. I can't do what I wanted. I can't buy this piece of gear because I was working in a studio. But this project, this $3,300 I got for mixing 18,000 songs. Right, because that's how it works when you get going. That's how it works when you get going. That money is gonna go towards getting a ring. I think I paid like $7,000 for the ring, and the Lord, because I had a vision, the Lord dropped so many things in my path that allowed me to get there. And it had very little to do with me actually choosing those things. It had more to do with one decision that I made. That like I'm going to marry this girl, and like that unity of vision in my heart. I wasn't a divided house. I was like, yeah, this is what I'm gonna do, and that's where you go. I think all those decisions are I'm not going to say pointless, because life lessons are important.
Yeah.
And mistakes are made, all that stuff. It's good to learn.
Yeah.
But without the clarity of vision, everything loses a lot of its meaning, I think.
Dude, extreme ownership, my favorite chapter in extreme ownership, my second favorite chapter is this one where they talk about, he talks about the boat cruise and how the teams that did best were teams that not only did they like know where the end of this treacherous run, but like not only did they know where the end was of like the run, they're rowing boats, but they would say, hey, we just have to get to there. Beat them to there, beat them to right there, to that tree, to that whatever, that post. And then once you get there, you establish another goal. And it was like the value of if you can establish small wins, shorter goals.
Yeah. It's the Dave Ramsey debt snowball.
Dude, yeah. Which like, it's so funny because my personality is opposite that.
Yeah.
Like I don't need any type of short-term
reward at all. It is a reward. It's a sense of momentum, and that's rewarding your vision. I don't need a
sense of anything, personally.
He has a personality called the Giant Slayer.
No, dude. I don't. I think it's if I can see that I can hold on to that long-term vision for a long, long time. And getting caught up, what drives me is the size of the vision. And like the fact that I'm trying to move a boulder, not a pebble, right? Yeah. That keeps me going towards it. Being rewarded, maybe you could say, by like some shorter goals, it actually makes me feel smaller. And then I'm not as in, but I think for many people, it's figuring out how you work. I think for many people,
you're the exception to that rule.
Maybe, yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Definitely,
yeah, sure. That's what I was going to say.
You have vision, though. You know where you're going. Yeah,
vision is my strength. Yeah, but I think for most people, I see it's like you have a sense. To your point, you have a sense of long-term vision, but then you also need to have established goals. Okay, and then this is where like running the company, I can't do that. I can't talk about where we're going to be in 7 years, in 5 years, with running AudioLink at all. Because if that was all I talked about, everybody's like, yeah, but we have so much work to do right now. Like, what are you talking about, Tom? Like, we have problems. Help me with my problems. Do this. Like, what we need to solve. We have things that have to get done. And I think in that realm, for everybody, like, if you're just mobilizing yourself and you're going to be the way that I am, whatever, fine. If you're mobilizing a team of people, you need to be able to establish some type of shorter term goals and that are attached to the long term vision.
The difference is leading yourself versus leading a team.
Yeah, totally.
Like I'm talking about like your internal like compass.
Yes.
And I think that's what you're talking about is when you try to communicate that to a team. So like if you're like the tech director at a church, guys, this is the vision, this is what we want to do, and this is how we get there. Mm-hmm. And then there's no doubt. There's no like everyone knows what they're doing. Yeah, everyone can function because they're not having to worry about if they're doing the right thing or not. Yeah, and everyone's secure in their role. Yeah, and therefore more secure in themselves.
Yep. Oh, totally. Yep. Okay, so I want to talk more about like.
By the way, guys, it's really important to us. Leadership and like coaching and that sort of thing is super close to our hearts. That's why we talk about this.
Yeah, 100%.
That's all I have to say.
Thanks for that point.
Quick aside.
Yeah. So as far as like building goes, what do you think if someone's trying to build something for you, Brandon, what would you say is like some of the most important pieces you want to have together up front? What are some of the main things you focus on?
Depends on what you're trying to build. If you're trying to build a Pro Tools template for broadcast, good sources. I mean, that's
okay. If you're trying to build, I guess I'm talking about if you're trying to build more a project when it comes to like either a team or we can narrow it down to a team or a career. I'm thinking about worship pastors. I'm thinking about executive and lead pastors. I'm thinking about like career audio engineers.
For someone who's trying to build their career,
Yeah.
You need to have decided what you want to do. And it's okay to change your mind, but just like when people go into college and they change their major 5 times, like I think it's good that you
Did any of you guys do that here in the room before
out?
I dog on that? You did that? Oh boy.
Well, the reason I think that's kind of part of what you're trying to do is figure out what you want to do with your life, and the pressure of that decision weighs heavily, right?
Correct.
But for me, like when I started playing drums and doing sound, I knew that's what I wanted to do. I didn't know what form it would take. Like it was very passion driven, obviously, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And even when I went to Christ for the Nations, I was gonna audition as a drummer because I wanted to play drums, and that's how short sighted I was. Like the Lord totally corrected my vision. But like I was thinking, oh, I can play drums and be a famous drummer.
I can be in a band.
Not thinking that like the most popular band on earth, their drummer's probably making maybe $100,000 a year, maybe.
Yes.
And
in
like
the
that,
world,
in today's world, that
the drummer for the Beatles.
Yeah, like he's probably doing better.
Yeah, I'm joking.
But the point is, like, I quickly realized that sound is probably a much more viable career for if I want to get married, have kids, all that stuff. But when I decided, I'd never changed my goal. My goal was always to be involved with music. And I had picked up utility tools in my workbook.
Your workbook.
my
Your handy
toolkit.
dandy.
My toolkit. Yeah, stuff that you can do to provide. Like I did corporate audio for like 5 years.
Yeah.
I did a bunch of stuff, and I learned how to do all these things that are super useful and valuable to be able to provide whatever. But that wasn't my passion. Like I didn't love going into like put 12 tabletop mics on a stand on tables,
in a banquet home,
and listen to doctors talk about cancer research. That's not what I wanted to do. But it paid the bills for a season, and that was good.
Yep.
But if you're building all of that, even though it doesn't feel like that's music related, and it doesn't feel like that's in any way what you want to be doing. It was, in fact, what I wanted to do. It was like we forget that when you're building, you're on a path and you have steps. Like that step was a 5-year-long step that taught me like how to show up on time,
dude.
How to I dress appropriately for work.
You're tempting me to go way off subject here, but this is
you know what I'm saying? Like those are building blocks. Don't do that. those are building blocks that are super important for my life, and then eventually. The Lord brought music background, but I think in my just, my assessment of what it takes to build a career like that, you can't be changing your mind 5 times.
Yeah. And
it was easy for me again because it was passion driven. So I knew generally what I wanted to do. Right.
Yeah.
But when all that time, when you change your major, change your whatever, you waste all that time. That's gone. Time is gone. And time is the only thing you can't get back.
Yep.
That's all you have.
Yeah.
You have right now.
Yeah.
So, those are my thoughts.
No, dude, that's a really good point. All right. So, one thing just to tag on to that is just so deeply related to my life. The, changing your approach is a big deal. And there's this balance in life to learning and growing and not changing your approach and listening to a lot of counsel and listening to no one. You need to do all of them at the same time to really succeed, in my mind. And
listen to everyone, but also don't.
Yeah, get counsel from everyone, but then there's an element of listen to no one, and obviously that's more for people, trying to do new things in the world. But what it made me think of is so when I was in DR playing baseball, all the guys there hit the ball so hard. And we would take batting practice, and the guys, these 14, 15, 6-year-old kids were just hitting half the balls over the fence. And I was lifting weights. I was stronger than all of them there. I was working out a lot. I was just really physically fit at the time. And I worked, because I got there, I was like, I'm going to work harder than all these guys because they're not going to respect me at all, because I'm like American coming to their country, taking their field space, and I have everything in their mind and they have nothing. So I was like, I need to show. So I was working really, really hard, and I couldn't hit the ball nearly as hard as these kids. Some of them were so skinny, and they were just like, just hitting bombs like crazy in games. And
Mark
I was,
McGuire style.
Dude, it was crazy. Seeing these guys hit the ball, I was just like, what is going on? And some of them were 14, 15, not being fed enough. Like, it was nuts. And one day, I just wasn't hitting the ball as hard as them. And one day I changed a big thing about how I was doing my weight shift to hit the ball. And it was just one day I started hitting the ball hard. And all of them were like, whoa, like, oh, gringo, he figured it out. Like, they were all freaking out. And I was like, and honestly, I was working with the hitting coach at the time that I had been asking him. It was about lifting my leg. It was I started doing this big leg kick. And he warned me against it a lot the whole time. And I had asked him about it because a lot of those guys did it. But he was like, they've been doing that since they were young. It changes timing a lot. I wouldn't really recommend it. You're hitting the ball fine. And in the games, I was hitting pretty well. This is a pretty big allegory, but I made the change that one day, and I was hitting the ball, and I saw their reactions, and I was like, oh, I think I just got to the next level. It was like this cosmic jump in power. I was hitting balls over the fence like they were. And it was a big jump in power. You would call it, there's like hitting for average and there's hitting for power. And I then took that into my game. And I then came back to America, and when I faced average to below average pitching, I hit amazing. When I faced real pitching, I didn't hit very well. Meanwhile, before I made the adjustment, I was playing in games there when I was keeping my foot on the ground, and I was just doing this little turn like Ohtani does now. And I was doing this little turn, and I was hitting 90 mile per hour pitching like every day. And I was doing great. Like, I was happy, but I didn't have the power.
Yeah.
And then I changed the leg kick. I could hit great in batting practice now.
Yeah.
But in the games, it was so much tougher. And honestly, like, that adjustment kind of ended my baseball career in reality. Like, I didn't hit. I would randomly hit balls like a country mile, and it was amazing. But then I would strike out way more than I should have. And it just made me think of how, process, I think we all want like the cosmic leap. Yeah. We all want the cosmic leap. But like, I probably could have gotten to the point that I unlocked some, like Ohtani doesn't lift his leg up and he hits the ball as hard and far as anybody. He just eventually figured it out in his process and in his time. And I think what you made me think about was like, if I was trusting my process and I was trusting the key voices I need to and the wisdom around me, right? And just grounded in like, hey, this thing is not going to be linear. Like building, I guess I'm thinking more building a career right now than building a team. Yeah. Like if we're thinking self, it's like, this thing is not going to be linear. It's not going to go like this. It's going to go left, right, down, up. And then all of a sudden, I'm going to find myself in a completely different place one day and be like, how in the world did I get here? How am I working with these people? What is happening? And that's the way. And a lot of times, good growth is slow.
Yeah.
Good growth is slow. It's just the nature of the beast. And that's not necessarily fun.
I remember on that note, when I would play drums, I used to play drums a lot. But when I would like get a new song to learn, I would listen to it. I was never the guy that could listen to it one time
and go for it.
I mean, I could stumble my way through it, be fine, whatever. But like, I had to have listened to it like probably at least 20 times. So it gets in me. So I don't have to think about it when I play.
Yeah.
And then, that really allows me to like put my flavor on it and comfortable, whatever else. But that took time to realize.
Yeah.
So like in my whole preparation for a Sunday or whatever, a recording or whatever, it was more, I understood that I need more time to think about it and get it in me.
Yeah.
Because that's my process, right? You know? And
that's great. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's
sticking to your process.
Yeah. Being aware.
I think that would be a big point in this. The beginning part of this is just like understanding, if you're going to build something, who are you? What is your process? What journey are you on? Kind of identify that and yield to it. I heard Philip Anthony say something yesterday that was insane. Did you see that, Nate?
Pastor Philip.
Yeah, Pastor Philip. He said,
dude, his story is all about process.
His story is all about process. And what he said, it was like, people were just asking him, like, what do you think is the biggest issue in people's process of what the biggest thing in the process of sanctification, something like that. And he just said yielding. And it's like, what I was unwilling to, the reason I don't play pro baseball right now is because I was unwilling to yield to my process. I wanted the results.
Yeah.
I wanted the results now, and I was unwilling to yield to it, trusting God's sovereignty in my life. I was not trusting that. So I think for each person, like,
it's maturity.
Dude, exactly. Maturity, like handing the keys over to God.
Yeah.
It's step one, and that's the toughest thing to do. It's taken me 30 years, and I'm still whack at that. But I think trusting, giving the keys over to God for like the whole thing, and trusting that no matter what, like He's got it all worked out perfect. You just need to be faithful each day. But and then yielding to that process, even when it doesn't look great. And the guy I think about as I'm saying this, thinking about our viewers, is the guy who's like maybe put in a lot of time doing audio or something. Like this was me when I was young. I put in a lot of time, and like nobody knows you.
Yeah.
No one knows who you are. You're at some random church or you're doing some random thing. Like nobody knows you. It's like if you are special, you are special.
Yeah.
So like the Bible says, like you see a man skilled in his ways, he won't work before obscure men, but before kings. Like if you really hone your craft and are faithful, eventually the moment will come where like your process, if you just yield to that process, the right person, the right opportunity, and it will require you to have faith and like step out and try things. But like I think for a career to really be built and grow, it takes yielding to a process. It takes hard work, all the obvious things we don't even have to go into right now. But I think it takes someone being secure. Like we interact with so many people. Yeah, you know where I'm going.
Oh yeah.
And there's such a spectrum of this.
Yes.
Like the most beautiful thing, to keep it positive, the most beautiful thing, and then I'll let you talk, sorry. The most beautiful thing that I see is when I see a guy who is just so grounded in who he is, his role at that church, and what he does, and he's just loving it, and he's just doing it. And like the fact that he's not like connected or this or that or known or like they're not the biggest church in town or they're not the whatever. He's just there to serve each week and just give his all, and he's secure in that. And he knows what he knows and he doesn't know what he doesn't know, and he's cool with that.
He's like humble.
Dude, yeah, like humility.
Yeah.
I just think that's so beautiful to see because of someone who's yielded to their process, you know. I think that's so sick.
I love that. And it's cool too, like we do interact with a lot of people, and not just people. We interact with nearly exclusively audio guys and tech directors. Mm-hmm. And I mean, on the sales end, it's more like the executive level, right? Yep. But like the actual integration of what AudioLink does for a church, we're talking to the tech people, you know?
Yeah.
And there are some that really have a hard time, like with the idea and the process of and we want to help, right? That's our heart.
That's it, yeah.
And sure, it's like, I think we come into a lot of situations with some authority on what is good, right? What is good.
Totally.
And, you know, that just sometimes there's small town in the middle of South Dakota. Like big fish in a small pond situation.
Yeah.
And you have a guy who's been there for 20 years and he really wants, it's his domain. And, we deal with all the ego all the time.
Yeah.
And our policy is to just love people. Like it's that's the way they want to do it. We'll do it their way. It's fine.
Exactly.
And there's no because we don't have, as a company, no ego.
Yeah.
None.
Zero.
Like we're good at what we do. We're confident and we're not intimidated by
anything or anyone.
Jimmy John over there.
Yeah.
Like we're doing whatever, like we don't, not that we don't care necessarily, but I don't necessarily, your approval of me doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that whole idea is, I think that takes a lot of maturity,
Yeah.
to get to that place to where you're like, you're not insecure, you're not projecting your insecurities onto other people.
Yeah.
All that stuff. And we deal with that all the time where guys are just super controlling and they want this to do this and this thing.
Oh,
and then we're like,
dude. Well, and you're making me think about a guy on our team. I won't name him, but like we came in and he works with AudioLink now, and his demeanor day one was just one that we were like, say at that time in his life, he maybe felt like not that connected or like not the biggest deal. I don't think he did. Well, whatever, doesn't matter. The point is, we came in, opportunity came through.
Yep.
And to now, all the stuff that he's doing, the way he's killing it, all this stuff, opportunity came through, and he was just there faithfully, just like, whether he felt like he was serving Laban or Potiphar, or if he felt like he worked in the palace, doesn't really matter. He was just doing his thing, and he was doing it faithfully, and we interacted with him, and he was yielded to the process. I could tell he was yielded to the process. And then the opportunity came by. It literally came to him. And I think that's sick. And I think that will happen for more people. Like trusting, you have to trust that like, if you are faithful in what you do, like God is going to elevate you.
Yeah.
He is going to elevate you. Like he's faithful to do that, especially if he's put that desire in your heart.
Yeah. And what's interesting about all that is that the goal is not to be elevated.
No.
That's the problem. Everyone wants to be elevated.
Yeah.
The goal is to be better for you.
Yes.
Like, because the things you learn, like me, Brandon, being a good steward of his time, makes me a better husband, makes me a better father, makes me a better follower of Jesus. It does all of those things. It grounds your life.
Bro.
And it's so much better than just being so, I guess pride and ego prevent all of that from happening. And they'll give you a false sense of what is important and priority. And then the moment that disappears, like an AudioLink comes in and now they're doing your broadcast, now it's like, what do I do? Who am I?
Yeah,
and that's what happens. And the Lord loves you so much that he'll break through your pride and he'll break through your ego and he'll wreck whatever's in the way to get to your heart.
Dude, and okay, so like this is the crazy thing about like the circle and the cycle of like each guy in the Bible that it becomes great. Like you see this. So like I think this is, and maybe there's a little prosperity, but like this is where I'm at. So if y'all want to know.
He named a Cadillac and claimed the Cadillac.
No, it's this. If God has if you have this desire in you to be validated by other people, God isn't just like, no, he's a good father.
Yeah.
So like if you're a child that like wants to be validated by your parents and others around you, you want to be seen. God is not just trying to kill that in you. There is something around that. There's something around that is part of who you are and part of what he's going to use to do what you're going to do. I mean, like, I think people that like want to be great, like I remember when I grew up, like I wanted to be a drummer for like Hillsong or something. I was like, what is being great in this, whatever I'm doing? That's what I want to be, right?
Tommy Kobler.
Yeah. I just want to play with everything. Hit all the drums. So the point is like, I think this is the other side of what you're saying to me is like, look, if God has put something in your heart where like you want to be consequential, you want to make a big impact, you want to be remembered. Like even that's like something I battle. Like for some reason, I want to be remembered so bad. I don't even know why. Like I want to be remembered so bad, and it's something that I have to like. Who is causing me to want that so bad? Like what? It's not my parents. They would be gone already. Like who is it? What is it? That's just like something I have. Each person, we have things like this that there are elements of pride and I think trauma and just different makeups of how we're raised that shape these things. Yeah. But I think what I don't like the church and people doing is demonizing one's desire to be great. I don't like that. I think God has like called us to be great, to be of consequence, to be of influence. Yeah. I believe that he calls people to that.
The counterpoint to that is that if you're not, someone else will be.
And
think about this. The space will get taken up, right? Like Reinhard Bonnke's story. I don't know if anyone's from.
Dude,
he was the third or fourth guy the Lord had asked to go to Africa, and he said yes, and he did, and he like impacted hundreds of millions of people in Africa.
Yep.
With
Christ for All Nations.
Christ for All Nations. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just, I mean, that is the principle. It's like, I think that
it's when you let it go. If you have that, I guess what I was trying to close is like, if you have that desire and you're like, God, take this away from me. Like, I don't want to be seen. I don't want to be all this stuff. Like, okay, that's great. I think you should, like, the motives, especially for doing ministry. Yes. Also, just know if you can actually just let it go and give it to God, just let it go. It is then that things can be added to you. You're good soil at that point. And God is going to fulfill the desires of your heart. And I think a lot of people just don't believe that, right? That God will fulfill the desires of their heart if they're willing to yield.
They don't know what a good father is.
Yeah, that's we want to really get to it.
I mean, like, let's be honest. Yeah,
we really want to get to it. Yeah.
I mean, we could go through all the statistics of what fathers in society today are doing or not doing.
Yeah.
And that's what I said earlier about like the Lord loving you more than your pride.
Yeah.
Like that's the idea is that you are valuable with or without. You are the same value with or without.
Yeah.
Anything. It's you that he wants. And for you to be good soil, you have to prioritize the kingdom.
Yeah.
Right. And if you're not, I think that's where people lose it a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, you see is the tree good? You'll tell by its fruit, That's
100%, bro. All right, quick. That was good. That's kind of more for the individual. Let's talk about for building culture and a team. Just a couple minutes on that. Is there anything that comes to your mind things that are important for building a team?
First thing,
to accomplish a mission.
If you're the leader of this team, like a tech director, I think the first thing you need to do is know everyone well. Know your team well.
Yeah, this is the Brandon Meyer handbook. Here we go.
Know your team well. And
I never say that.
The reason I would say that is because if you're trying to create culture, you have to know how people talk, their language they use, all of that stuff. Like it's basic, I think. And their answers, their demeanor, like, because you have to be the example. And if people don't know you, and know and be known, I guess. Know your team and be known by your team, right? Like,
know the flock.
Yeah. If they don't see you as the example, you have to be the example, right?
Yeah.
And you have to know them so they can see how you desire this team's posture to be in the ministry, right? Or whatever you're doing. I think that's important. It's like people overlook that, like, whatever team dinners or, whatever things that we do to connect. Like we have those nights, everyone who's stateside comes in, or most people, I guess. There are some Floridians. Some Floridians that can't make it all the time, but
yes, we fly them in on private jets.
Yes. Anyway, but like the point of that is to connect and for the culture of what we want to create in this company, which is like we're all in the same boat. We're all doing the same thing together. There's unity, there's vision. Everyone's taken care of. Like, we're a family. It's the family you choose, right? Like, that's what we want to create. And anything to say on that?
No, dude, I think that's killer. I mean, you
way more relational. Okay.
Yes, Brandon is 12,000% relational. I think it's great. It's a great thing. Yeah, it's something I need to grow in. I think the good to great is the easiest cop out for this question, but which is just like right people on the bus. Like, I think the only caveat I'm giving to right people on the bus in a more, when it's tougher to offer a huge upside to somebody. Personally,
what does that look like in a volunteer position?
Yeah, volunteer or
what is upside in a volunteer position?
I think upside in a volunteer position, if we're just being real, is some sense of
ownership.
Yeah, I think there's like missional currency that's exchanged a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like them knowing that they're having an impact.
Yeah.
And having the opportunity, a seat at the table to like fulfill their mission, I think I think that's a big piece of it.
Goes back to unity of vision, right?
Yeah, but also for building like a staff team, I think it's a little easier to have this conversation. The volunteer dynamics are different every time. I think the right people on the bus, and so in Good to Great, he talks about right people on the bus is the most important thing, but it's not just the most important thing. The most important thing is that first, before you do anything else, you put the right people on the bus. And it doesn't matter where you're going. It doesn't even matter what seat they're on the bus. If you have the right people on the bus, you're good.
Yeah.
Like everything else needs to come from that. Yeah. And I think that's 100% true. The only thing that I would say is if to get the right people on the bus, you need to have a sense of the vision.
Yep.
And you need to cast it to them. And it has to be something that they'd be willing to do for free.
Yep.
Can
we talk about that?
Yeah.
We talk about Mr. Kennard real quick.
Sure, dude.
As the example for that?
Yeah, let's talk about him. Do you want?
No.
Do you want me to share? Or you want to share?
Well, okay. So we were about a year and a half ago. We were like looking for
specific role.
Yeah, a specific role, like having to, because we build rigs, right? We do all this stuff. There's a lot of logistical things that we need done, and we're like, oh, well, what do we do? And then Tom calls me a Sunday afternoon, and he goes, "Do you know Isaiah?" I was like, yeah, he's in our upper room audio. And I was like, he's a great engineer. He's like, yeah, I think we let's talk to him, and then he could take over.
I would always see Isaiah looking at me at church.
Yeah.
That was like, I think he wants to work with us. Yeah. So I was like,
he was like kind of like Isaiah is the hardest worker in the room.
Oh
also,
my gosh.
He looks like a puppy dog.
Oh yeah, he just has the sweetest eyes.
He's like,
so he's just like looking. So so he was always looking at me, and then my wife was in the group with his wife and heard, he was maybe looking for work or something, or looking for a career change. So, and then I heard him mix that Sunday, and I was like, yo, this is really good.
Yeah.
And then so I met with them. We got coffee in Capel at that place, George, I remember. And it was cool. I just was kind of hearing them out. And then I was like, hey, well, we'll be ready to hire this role in about maybe 3 to 4 months.
You were talking to him in December, and we were talking like April.
Yeah, correct. April, I said, we'll be ready to, so this is the beginning of December. It was very cold. I remember that. And we'll be ready to hire this role in like 3-4 months, but you don't really like your job right now. I don't know if you can do this role. I don't know if you have the skills to do this role or can develop them, but I'm willing to give you a chance to develop them. But what that would have to look like is you just work for free nights during your other job, however you can fit it in, and start fulfilling this role. And then once we see that you can fulfill it, and we would be we'd be screwed if you left, then you'll have a job.
created value.
Yeah, once you create value, and we would have a problem otherwise. Yeah. And again, it wasn't actually built on the fact that I like really loved him or knew him or like had a relationship with him prior to that. It was none of that. It was more just like, yo, can you provide value?
Yeah.
And he did exactly that, dude.
Like, and then like a couple days later, they Tom and Isaiah both came to the studio.
Oh yeah,
and
this was funny.
I was just like, we were just gonna like talk to him about what he knows, and he brings a notepad. He brought his notepad in his backpack, and he just like, we asked him about like, do you know what SoundGrid is?
Yeah.
And
we
all these
talking
things
about
like
digital audio networks and stuff.
everything, and he didn't know a lot, but like in the progression of those 3 months, he was like effectively interning. He made, I mean, the most insane contribution to this business.
Insane.
That has brought so much like
incredible value.
Boots on the ground, like just safety net for us as a team, and culturally, he's just said yes and had the best attitude. And
in an army, you have people that tell everybody what to do, people that command. Then you have people that just kill people.
Yeah,
that's him, dude.
He's just a slayer.
He's just there killing people. Like that, and they're the actual outcomes. Like, but the point is, he was. I don't even know what we were drawing back to. But
so he said yes.
Oh yeah, right. People on the bus. Yeah, he said yes. He just said yes, and I think I did provide even early on. I provided kind of a vision too for what to try to give some people some direction with this. Like, one, giving people an opportunity to punch way above their weight class. Last thing, and then we're gonna wrap. I bet everybody here has this young person around, okay? On some level. So
we have 2 of them.
Yeah. Here's who I was. When I was really young, I like at church around this stuff, I wanted to lead the music department. I wanted to lead the production.
And
I wanted to lead
pastor.
And I wanted to preach. I wanted to be everything because I genuinely thought I could do it fantastic. I really believed I could do it well. And what I knew inside, though, was that I cared about it more than everybody else. And then I was actually a student of these things, right? I was actually working on sound and practicing drums. And I was like so anxious to like get in the ring. And I was fighting for opportunity. Yeah. And I didn't have the opportunities to like lead into this and to that. And I think there's a lot of young people, especially at a church that has like, like I think about like Upper Room, which is swimming in talent. Like only one person can sing at once, or 3. Like there's so much talent to just like be once it's ridiculous. If everyone sang once a month, it would take like 6 months to get through the cycle, right? So the point is, that's how it is. So the point is, like, there's like 20 bass players. Yeah. So the point is, like, in that environment, people that like want more opportunity, I think leaders, these people are the gold.
Yeah.
And I think leaders that have ego issues, they see that person and what they do is the worst thing. Like, that's like the Anakin Skywalker. That's like the chosen one. And they actually try to push them down because they intimidate them. And they maybe question them and all that stuff. Yeah. And what you need to do is you need to find that person and be like, okay, you're with me. You're the number 2. You're the whatever. Hey, I want to give you this project. I want to give you that project. Even if it's a silly thing for them to do the kids' week, the VBS worship, give them something. Like give them something that they can own and feel like they own. And they'll probably pull something out that like no one has done that's fresh. And I think a lot of people have someone, especially in bigger churches, there's some young person in there that feels like a caged animal. Yeah. And there's probably a leader in a lot of cases that is pushing them down rather than like praising that fire that and like trying to find ways to elevate it. I think that's really important for growing a team at church.
That was there's a guy named Mike at my church that I grew up in. I said, I want to do sound. He goes, great.
Come along.
Like, stand here. I got a booster, see above the console.
Yeah, you still need one of those.
Yeah, thanks, bro. 5'9". Chill out. Okay, 5'8". All right.
That's why the desk at Upper Room goes up and down for a reason.
All of them do, because everyone's short. No,
it's true.
Someone said yes to me. you know, and that was
exactly
that simple.
He gave you
yes.
a chance.
And even just a basic amount of, hey, do this, push this fader up a little bit, turn this knob. That's what you're supposed to do. And I'll tell you when to do it. Okay, but you do it. It's like when your dad teaches you how to drive. You know, you were trusted with the, like, this 3,000 pound bomb.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, don't hit anyone. So that is what creates passion in people. It certainly created passion in me. I was obsessed with feeling the subs. I want to the kick drum
to feel them.
You know, I want to like
get some type of dude. I had that
quickly
issue.
learned about the maximum
that you can get out of two subs
before you start hearing this.
Yeah, you know? I would do the same thing.
Yeah. Anyway, that's really good.
Look for talent. Look for the talent. There's talent there. If you don't feel like there's much, look for that one person who seems like they have some fire. And if you want to have a future in your organization, those young people that are so hungry, those are gold. It's just future gold. You have to find those people and you have to give them opportunity now. Because if you wait, they'll probably make the opportunity somewhere else, you know, and that just, it happens. But this is really fun. Yeah. Thanks, y'all.